Good evening and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha episode 32. This story begins with Weird Sister number 3 trashing the place up because she is pissed off. She is pissed off because she is not powerful enough to master Dread's Type 3 form. And, she is trashing the place, and she gets these flashbacks of her defeat from Spanner to Hotaro. It's driving her nuts. And then what makes matters even worse, just keep pouring that salt into that open wound. Here comes Weird Sister number 1, who's been played by a 9-year-old, and she is, spitting vellum. Poison. Okay. She's spitting poison. And she is telling her own sister that she is useless. Her body cannot handle the power. And you're worse than our older brothers. So she is spitting venom and she leaves. And just makes matters even worse for number 3. I feel bad for her. I really do. And so we move on to the Legend world, which I will come with a disclaimer that I have not watched the Kamen Rider Legend special because I had no interest in it, and let's call it like it is, guys. Like, he looks like the replacement of both the End and Decade, because Legend has both of their powers. He can transform into them, and he can summon riders too. So he is a fusion between the two, and I'm not interested. I really am not interested. However, if you guys in the audience, if there's a high demand, want me to watch the special and do a Riderpiece theater on it, then I'll do it. If not, then I won't do it. All I ask is, just give me the rundown of what happened, because this is Legend involved, and especially he is coming in the next episode, which I have a little bit to say about his involvement into the future. But as of right now, I'm just saying that I have not seen any of the Legend specials, so forgive me if I don't know anything. So we move on to the Legend world. You see Butler Kajiki, and he is reporting to Legend that, hey, the Kamen Razor is complete, but unfortunately, he's not answering the phone call. And what makes matters even worse is that these soldiers that look like Omagio soldiers shows up, and the leader comes in, without the helmet on, and he is like, okay, so this is a super weapon. Thank you for completing it. We'll take it. So they're gonna steal the riser, right? And Butler Kaijiki does his best to hold off against the soldiers, but it doesn't work out. But luckily, the Razor comes to life and escapes using the portal that the soldiers used to enter the building. And so the soldiers follow it, leaving poor Butler Kaijiki on the ground, and he's like, oh man, we're in trouble. So after the opening credits, we get to see Hotaro in the middle of a Melgang fight, and you have Renge and Sabi helping him out. And long story short, he does the usual, the fever kick. He captures the card, and of course captures the thug as well. And they report to Minato Sensei that, the job is done. And of course, Minato Sensei is giving the thumbs up, and congratulating them for a job well done. And so after that, we move to, to the school. So after Miruro Sensei gives his congrats to his students, we get to see Weird Sister number 2 with Spanner and Kyoka coming into the classroom. And Spanner says to Kudo, like, hey, I brought number 2 like you asked. There you go. And number 2 is like, why am I here? Why am I here? And then you see a cutscene with Kudo, and we don't see anything yet. So it immediately cuts away, and we go back to Sabi, Renge, and Hotaro. They're celebrating. They want to eat something because their stomachs are growling. But before they get to a restaurant, whatever, here comes Weird Sister number 3, and she is attacking Hotaro. And Hotaro was all confused as to why she is still going after him after, hey, the master is gone, so there's no reason for you to hunt me down and kill me. So why are you continuing this grudge? And of course, number 3 is like, I want to become strong. So if I take away your driver, I will get the power that I want. And then what makes matters even worse is that the soldiers from 100, if I said 1,000, I apologize. So it's 100, the 100 army, if you will, shows up and pretty much disrupted the fight between number 3 and Hotaro. And everybody was like, well, who the hell are they now? What the hell? And then the leader comes in and tells, hey, so you must be Gacha, right? Yeah, so? And why are you guys familiar? And we see a flashback of the special, and it looked like Legend must have wiped Hotaro's memories. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't seen the special, so hopefully you guys comment on the comments below of what happened there. And so Hotaro doesn't remember them. He is wondering who the hell they are. And of course, the leader is giving out vague answers like, okay, I have been ordered to kill you and take the super weapon, and that's it. And they go on the attack. So the soldiers are attacking everybody. And as they were fighting, poor number 3, she wants to transform and use type 3. But she hesitated in using that final card because she knows what would happen to her if she does use it. But she ends up using it anyway, but the driver malfunctions, leaving her defenseless, and she got injured along the way. And then all of a sudden, of course, before that, Hotaro was showing concern for number 3 because he noticed something. And then we move on to this mysterious figure in the background, and this figure transports everybody except for Renge and Sabi to another dimension. We don't know where yet, but it sent them somewhere. I know, poor Renge and Sabi. They're supposed to be seniors, and yet the villain does not take them. They're nothing special. Nothing special. So we move from that to back to the school, and Kudo asks directly to number 2, hey, what's going on with number 1? Why is she so obsessed with me? What's going on? Not in those words, but she is like wondering what the hell is going on with her. And the answer that number 2 tells Kudo is, well, you're too nice. And we sisters are pretty much walking dolls that are devoid from hopes and dreams. So that's your answer there. So we get this confirmation that, hey, the sisters are not really human. They're like dolls that look like humans. They appear to be humans thanks to the master. And then all of a sudden, it just came out randomly, mind you. Professor Kyoka asked number 2 if she is interested in becoming a human. And Spanner's like, what? Like, is it even possible? And Kyoka's like, you never know unless I try. And all I need from number 2 is her permission to experiment her. And number 2 was like, what? Are you serious? And Kyoka's like slowly like approaching her, all like scary, creepy like. And she takes out the wrench sword and she's like, don't make me use it. Don't make me use the sword that you made against you. But Professor Kyoka was like very like interested, like, please say yes. I want to do experiments on you. I'm interested. Yes. And number 2 is like, This is the first time I ever seen number 2 be all nervous and scared, because she's usually the one who gives out fear, puts on fear onto others. Only this time, this is the other way around. So we move to Hotaro, and he is apparently trapped in another dimension. He goes through these doors leading to nowhere, and then he goes to another door, and then another door in front of him shows up, and lo and behold, comes out number 3. And she is injured, of course. And Hotaro being Hotaro, well, I know he's cringy. He's cringe as hell. But at least I can respect the fact that regardless if the person or being, in this case, doll, well, regardless if they're a good person or an enemy in this case, he's willing to help them. That's who he is. And Hotaro is trying to like help her, but of course number 3, she's full of pride, and she says hell no to his help. And before things get to, like conversation mode, the soldiers just burst into this other door that appeared, and they pretty much continue where they left off. And this fight pretty much summarize everything, and I'll explain obviously what I mean by that. So this fight is a story between 2 characters. One character who we all realize that he is no fighter at all. He needs to be a Kamen Rider to wear the suit in order to be at least in an equal playing field between him and the monster that he's facing. And you can tell with Hotaro's fight scenes that he sucks. He really does suck. This fight scene exposes Hotaro that, hey, he is no fighter at all, and he needs to become Kamen Rider Gacha to be able to fight with these soldiers. Here, it just really exposes that he sucks and he is no fighter. However, we move to number 3, who she herself is an excellent fighter. And this is where I give kudos again to not only to the character, but also the actress that portrays her. Huge respect for her, because most of her fighting scenes are hers, because you see a lot of close-ups with her. Of course, when you go to Hotaro, Kuro, they're stunts. They're stunt devils. They're stunt devils. Of course, there's some moments where we get to see, the actual actors do fight scenes just a little bit. But for number 3, the actress, Jesus, she is very good. So I give kudos to her. Huge amount of respect to her. And here it proves that if you're an excellent fighter like her, you don't really need to wear the suit. She doesn't need to become Gacha, or Dread in this case, to go head to head with these monsters. In this case, soldiers. She can whip your ass if you're a monster or not, or a Kamen Rider even. And I have so much respect towards her because of that, which made Hotaro be the one that, yeah, you're the weak one, Hotaro. You're not a fighter like her. And if anything, Hotaro should be a bit ashamed ashamed of himself, because I mean, at least Buffy trains her ass off to be an excellent fighter. Hotaro is not, because he relies on the suit. But if anything, but this is the reason why this fight is a tale between two characters, and it just exposes both in terms of, hey, I need to become a Kamen Rider in order to fight these monsters, versus I don't need to become a Kamen Rider. I can still whoop their ass. Yep. So, number 3 is giving her all... Yeah, and also, just to add too, she's supposedly injured, and she still whips ass. Hotaro, you suck. You really do. You really need to... Minoro Sensei, you suck as a teacher, but you need to find someone for Hotaro to train in terms of fighting. Have Spanner do that. I'm sure Spanner will be delighted to spar with Hotaro and just get... Never mind. You guys get my drift, guys. You guys get my drift. Anyways, so the fight, with the tale between two characters, ends with, the beatdown, and then they escape. And then we So this episode, we go back and forth between the labyrinth and the alchemy school. So it's always, we always go back and forth. So we go back to the school again, and we get this confirmation that, hey, she is indeed, a doll created from the master, and the master used forbidden alchemy to create life. And everybody was in shock, like, ooh, like he mastered this forbidden alchemy to create life. Ooh, I'm like, we all knew that, guys. We all knew that. So during this discovery, Kuro gets a message from, I think, either Renge or Sabi, but she receives a message that Hotaro has vanished out of thin air. And we move back to the labyrinth scene, and they escape the soldiers. And this is where we get this moment between the two and just dish it all out. And number 3 tells Hotaro that, hey, we're trapped in the labyrinth, I can tell. And, cringy Hotaro's like impressed with number 3 and like, wow, like I didn't know, like you're good, And she tells Hotaro that, hey, I may look like a human, but I'm actually not. I'm a walking doll created from the master. And she's pretty much putting everything on the table to Hotaro, like, hey, like, especially the question that's been burning inside of her since her first defeat is, why did you save me? I don't need your pity. I don't need you to look down on me. I don't need your pity. I don't need anything from you, right? Because you can tell her pride is hurt. It's pretty bad. But Hotaro, on the other hand, cringy Hotaro is like, look, I saved you because I wanted to. It's not for an ulterior motive I saved you because I wanted to save you. That's it. Also, you know, we go on to the whole, oh, I have a gotcha speech. I have a gotcha where chemies and humans can coexist in peace. That's my gotcha. Oh, speaking of gotcha, I forgot to mention this. Apparently, Hotaro loves the word gotcha a lot. And as he was trying to escape through these doors, he says, mind you, I'm reading the subs, says, oh my gotcha. Of course. So I thought gotcha means goal and dreams. It also means, oh my god. You know, oh my gotcha. Look, it's apparent that Kuro and Hotaro are going to be together. If they end up with a child, I hope to God Hotaro does not name it Gotcha. Because I'm sure Kuro is like, hell no, I'm not going to name my son or daughter Gotcha for your obsessiveness towards that word. Like, I hope not. It's not going to happen, obviously, but it's just Hotaro so cringy. Like, everything is a gotcha with him, everything. But that's just a side note that I forgot to mention, but I wanted to add it here. Anyway, so cringy Hotaro tells number 3 about his gotcha speech, and let's be friends. Like, why are you continuing on this fight? Like, do you have dreams? Do you have desires? What is it? And he goes on by saying, look, my dream, my gotcha is my reason for fighting. What's yours? And of course, number 3 is, like, even though she wants power, I think what she wants most is to have her sisters back together. And you see that. But of course, she lies. She doesn't want to admit that she has that desire. So she tells Hotaro, like, I have no such thing. You are a moron. You're an idiot. Something that both I and number 3 agree on. But obviously, you can tell that number 3 really does want her family back together, aside from power. She doesn't want to admit the truth. And then this whole thing, gets disrupted by the soldiers and the leader. And the leader's like, how dare you trap us in this stupid labyrinth? And Hotaro's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you weren't the ones that trapped us here? Like, it wasn't you? So they're pretty much accusing the other of trapping them in this labyrinth. But it doesn't matter because he's like, look, I'm going to kill you and we will escape. So they end up attacking again. So this is part 3, guys. This is part 3. And so Hotaro, again, like, asks, like, okay, why are you after me? And the answer is pretty much, well, you are a friend to Legend, even though he doesn't say that directly. But the leader tells Hotaro that you are a friend to our enemy, so that means you have to go because you're a threat. And you're in a loose end that needs to be dealt with. And of course, Hotaro's like, I have no idea what the hell you said. I have no idea what the hell you said. Because mind you, he tried to remember, but it looked like Legend wiped his memory out. So he doesn't know. He doesn't remember. But of course, his memory will return in the next episode when Legend comes with his legendary grapefruits. Anyways, so part 3 continues. And he uses Hotaro, one of the old forms. I'm happy that the show is reusing the suits from the past, because normally when the ultimate form shows up, the main protagonist mostly uses the ultimate form until he gets his mega form. So I'm happy that the show at least, hey, we have other forms besides platinum, so we can use that. So Hotaro uses the gold mecha form, the bulky form. I mean, kudos to the suit actor that wears that, because Jesus, I'm sure it was not easy to walk, and fight with that. But, kudos to that. So that form helped Hotaro, destroying all the soldiers, but unfortunately more soldiers come in and continue on with the fight. And so number 3 and Hotaro continue on with the fight. They escape through a door. Of course, it leads them to another place in the labyrinth. And Hotaro was like, look, he asked number 3, like, hey, look, let us be a tag team for a while, because right now we can't fight them like by ourselves. We need to work together. And of course, number 3 is like, look, I don't like you. I hate your guts. But do you trust me? You trust me. And Hotaro's like, look, to sum it all up, what he said, like, we will come to that bridge once we get out of this situation. But right now, we need to work together to destroy these soldiers and get out of the labyrinth. And of course, number 3 agrees, and we see this awesome fight between the soldiers and the tag team of Hotaro and number 3, which to me, as short-lived as it was, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And mind you, Hotaro was using his UFO form. So yeah, that's just a side thing I wanted to add. So together, they defeated the soldiers. They go to another door, and it looked like, again, there's no end to this labyrinth. The last place they entered, it looked like, a parking lot. And they get greeted by new soldiers and its leader. Hotaro gets blasted away. And the leader is like, it's thanks to your, this dead weight is that we caught up to you. I mean, this dead weight is like keeping you from fighting, blah, 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 blah. So you can tell that insulted number 3. And number 3 is like, she is enraged. And she just points out, like, Jesus, she is like, I'm so sick and tired of you people looking down on me. And I want to, the reason that I fight is I fight just because I want to fight as I see fit. Who cares about the orders? Who cares about this and that? I fight because I like to fight. I fight the way I see fit. And you see her fighting a little bit, and then she had the courage to use the dread driver, but she doesn't use type 3. She uses type 2 instead, and she ends up destroying every single soldier in that place and leaving poor Hotaro on the ground. And he's like awestruck, like, oh, number 3, you're very, very good. And it's like, oh man, I'm glad that Kuro wasn't there, because I already imagined the jealousies would have been back if Kuro was there and Hoto's like giving praises to number 3. I already imagined, but Kuro doesn't know how to be jealous. All she does is be sad and runs away. Anyways, number 3, being a badass as she is, both, civilian form or in dread, she destroys everyone in her path, minus the leader who he tries to escape. And then together with Platinum Gacha and number 3, with Dread Type 2, they rider kick his ass and he gets defeated. They both escape the labyrinth, while at the last minute, the leader gives a distress signal before he dies. And then we go back into the real world. And this is where cringy Hotaro extends his hands. Well, his hand, sorry. He extends his hand of friendship and offers her, hey, do you want to join us? He's like, look, can we just stop with the fighting? It's over. I just want to just go, I just want to be friends with you. Can we just do that? Can you shake my hand? And I'm willing to take you back with us, and just join the alliance, let's be friends, right? Just let us start over, right? But I like the scene so much because number 3, instead of knocking his hand of friendship away with her arm, instead of that, she just kicks the hand away, and she's like, "Screw you, Hotaro! I used you to get out of this situation. Screw you! I used you." So, and just leaving poor Hotaro stunned, what the hell? This reminds me again with him and Spanner just knocking the hand of friendship away. And this is just even 10 times better because number 3, instead of knocking the hand with her hand, she just kicks his hand away and just gives him the finger. Look, I used you. We're out. Our alliance is over. Next time we meet, I will kill you. I will kill you. And she tries to go on her way, leaving Hotaro But then all of a sudden this force field appears, and this gravitational pull is forcing both her and Hotaro down. And then we discovered who the hell this mysterious being that sent the soldiers and Hotaro and number 3 to this labyrinth. According to number 1, it's the Abyss Alice King itself. So the king has arrived, and then the king grabs number 3, and because he said, as a reward for escaping my labyrinth, I'm gonna give you what you want. And of course, number 3 was mind you, she's being choked. And number 3 was what, my desire? What is that? Well, she doesn't say that, but my desire. And we go back to the cutscene of her sisters being together. So she assumes that this king is going to bring number 2 back into the fold, and they're going to be a family again. They're going to be sisters again. But instead of that, he ended up giving her what she wanted in the first scene of this episode, which is she wants more power. So the Abyss Alice King gives her number 3 more power, and she looks like this character from My Hero Academia with the vampire. I forgot her name, but you guys know who I'm talking about here. She has the vampire thing on her mouth. She's all red, and her suit is with teeth and everything all red. She has the Sith eyes, and she is amazed how she is filled with absolute power. And then all 3 of them leaving Hotaro in the ground. And then, lo and behold, the rest of the alliance shows up because, mind you, when Kudo received the message, everybody was looking for Hotaro because it was one of the scenes, but I didn't mention it. But they showed up, they grabbed Hotaro, and they were wondering, who the hell is that? And Hotaro did not answer. He's just more concerned about number 3 than anything else. And then we get into the last scene of the episode where apparently the signal brought the 3 lieutenants of the 100, and basically, one of the lieutenants says, look, so this is the world, right? Okay, so our job right now is to kill Hotaro and to take the super weapon and destroy it and take over the world. I can't talk, guys. Take over the world in the name of the 100. And that is the end of this episode. So apparently in the next episode, Legend and his legendary grapefruit's gonna show up and save the day with his new form, which is, I have to admit, it's better than Type 2 Decade. I'll give him that. But it's just, I find it to be hard to fight with this giant bracelet, this tire of this, yeah. I don't know how the suit actor is going to manage that, but yeah, so that's the end of the episode, guys. And I have to say, number 3 really stole the show. She really did. I so much respect towards the actress. I have, oh my gosh, she's very good. And her character, I mean, you kind of feel for her because she's a warrior. And when warriors get defeated like that, their pride end up being injured. And Jesus, when you have your own sister, and Hotaro, of course, didn't look down upon her, but in her view, she is seeing Hotaro as like, why are you pitying me? I don't want your pity. I don't want your help. Like, screw you. Like, she sees Hotaro as, okay, there's another guy who is looking down on me. And then what's worse, the lieutenant, well, the leader of the soldiers shows up and just tells her that she is dead weight, which really sets her off. But we got to see awesome fight scenes with her, and respect. I know she may not be listening nor understand English because she's Japanese, but if she knew English, I have to tell you directly that, hey, props to you. I respect the hell out of you. Great work. Great work. Hotaro, you suck. I had to end it with that. But I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. And even though I didn't see like the Legend special, I have the idea, I guess, of what it is. But again, if you be so kindly, write in the comments below like a brief recap of what the Legend special was. Of course, if you guys want me to watch the special, all you have to do is just write in the comments below and say, Dayhawk, I want you to watch the special. It's really good. Trust me. And I'll watch it, and I might as well like make a review out of it. I don't know, but it's up to you guys. Because like I told you earlier, I have no interest in Decade 2.0. I'm not. And because I already made a video making fun of the suit, because I still cannot believe that they had a fashion malfunction and they didn't fix it. And a lot of people online were making fun of it, and it's just, come on. Why did Toei gave the heads up when it's like, I think you need another layer, because I could see the grapefruits, but it's neither here or there. I'm just saying. I'm just making light out of this situation because it is. But I really enjoyed this episode a lot, thanks to number 3. She was the reason why I continue. She is the reason why I enjoy the episode very much. Hotaro, I can care less. And number 2 is like getting the raw end of the deal where she is like being all like, get away from me, professor, get away from me. I don't want you to experiment on me. Forget it. I'm not going to be a human. But Kyoka's like, yes, please say yes. And like, crazy, right? Yeah, so that's the end of the episode. There was something I wanted to say, but I just forgot about it. So I do apologize if I mentioned something earlier that there was something I wanted to say towards the end, but I must have missed. I just forgot about it, but I apologize for. Oh, now I remember, guys. Now I remember. I don't believe that Legend is gonna be in the rest of the season. I just don't see it. I think he's just there for an episode or two, and then he's gonna go back to his world. Unless the 100 is gonna be the primary enemy, which I don't think it is, because again, the Abyss Alice King has shown up, and it's only a matter of time if in fact the Master does return, and maybe, just maybe, the Eldorado demon will follow suit. So I just don't think that Legend will be a full-time character. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but my question to you guys is, if he does stay in the Gacha universe and help out Hotaro against, the Master, the Eldorado demon, the king, that sort of thing, like can he, how you say it? Can he, like, what is he gonna do? That's my question. If he decides to stay, like, what can he do to help Hotaro against the enemy? Because obviously Legend's enemy is the 100, and if he stays in Hotaro's world, then his world will become defenseless, and the 100 will easily take over his world. So I just don't see Legend staying for a long period of time. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, because in social media they jumped the gun that supposedly Legend is going to be staying, but I just don't see it. I think he's going to be in the next episode, and then he goes back. I just don't see him staying. I just don't. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And also tell me, did you watch the episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Because if I did, you know what to do. Write in the comments below, because I have my notes in front of me, and I may have missed a couple of things. Give a like if you like it. Subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!